Welcome to the Global War Watch Network, your go-to source for the future of conflict. Hey, if you want the latest analysis on global security and military tech, do us a favor and hit that subscribe button right now. You're not going to want to miss this, because today we're talking about a development that completely rewrites the rules of space warfare. Listen to this. China just crossed into science fiction. Particle beam weapons are no longer theoretical. And let me tell you, that is not an exaggeration. This is a real game changer. I mean, we're talking about technology that for decades you've only seen in movies or read about in physics books. Well, guess what? It's real now. And this isn't just some small step forward. No, this is a massive leap that could totally redefine conflict as we know it, especially up there in space. Okay, so Section 1, Sci-Fi becomes reality. Let's really get into what this breakthrough means, right? We're going to look at the tech itself, who's involved in this new space race, and what this huge shift could mean for all of us. So, here's the headline. A Chinese research team has pulled off something pretty incredible. They've built a power system that's small enough to fit on a satellite, but powerful enough to run a particle beam weapon. This came from a team over at DFH Satellite Company. That's China's biggest satellite manufacturer. What they've created is a system that can pump out a huge amount of energy with pinpoint accuracy, and the whole thing is packed into a tiny package. And let's be super clear here. This isn't just a small upgrade. We're talking about a brand new class of power technology for space. All right, next up, what even are particle beams? Before we get any deeper, let's just make sure we all know what we're talking about here. So, what exactly is a particle beam weapon? Let's get back to basics for a second. Okay, so think about it like this. We're moving past the age of traditional warfare. Directed energy weapons, or DUs for short, they don't fire bullets, they don't launch missiles. Instead, they hit their targets at the speed of light using pure, concentrated energy. This is a whole category of weapons. You've got your lasers, your microwaves, and, you guessed it, the star of our show today, particle beams. So where would you even use a weapon like this? The number one answer is space. That's where anti-satellite weapons, or ASATs, come in. These things are all about space warfare. They're designed specifically to take out the satellites that modern countries rely on for, well, pretty much everything. We're talking communication, GPS navigation, spying, even spotting missile launches. Our entire modern life runs on these things. This chart really lays it out perfectly. On one side, you've got the old-school method, kinetic weapons. Basically, you launch a missile and just smash it into a satellite. Yeah, it works, but it's super messy. It creates these huge clouds of space junk that are a nightmare for everyone. But on the other side, that's the new way. Non-kinetic weapons, like particle beams. These can fry a satellite's electronics silently without ever touching it. It's a much, much stealthier and cleaner way to fight a war in space. Okay, so let's talk about the big picture. The new space arms race. Because, look, this Chinese breakthrough didn't just happen out of nowhere. It's one piece of a much larger puzzle, a global arms race that's heating up fast. And the numbers, well, the numbers really tell the story here. Let's put a number on this. Right now, in 2024, the global market for particle beam weapons is already sitting at $1.19 billion. That's a pretty hefty number, right? But it's what happens next that's just mind-blowing. Get ready for this. By 2033, that market is expected to absolutely explode to over $5 billion. We're talking an annual growth rate of almost 19%. This isn't just steady growth, folks. This is a flat-out gold rush for the next generation of weapons. So who's buying all this stuff? Well, this chart makes it crystal clear. You've got defense applications taking up half the pie, and space applications another 35%. Add that up, that's 85% of the entire market being driven by military and strategic goals. We're talking everything from shooting down missiles to controlling the high ground of space. Right now, there's a pretty exclusive club of countries that have proven they can shoot down a satellite with a missile. You've got the United States, Russia, China, and India. That's it. So China was already in this elite group, but this new particle beam tech, whoa, that puts them in a whole different league. Okay, let's zoom back in on the main event, China's power breakthrough. What makes this so huge? It's not just that they have a cool idea for a weapon. No, it's that they seem to have solved the one massive problem that's been holding this tech back for decades. And that problem is power. This table really tells you everything you need to know. Just look at the difference. The new Chinese system can generate a 2.6 megawatt pulse of power. To put that in perspective, that's enough juice to power over 2,000 homes, even if just for a split second. That is more than double what older systems could do. And then there's the timing, accurate to 0.63 microseconds. That level of precision is just insane, and it's absolutely essential for a weapon that moves at the speed of light. So, you're probably wondering, how on earth did they do it? Well, it wasn't one single magic bullet. They actually redesigned the entire system from the ground up. The best way to think about it is like a symphony orchestra. First, the solar panels collect the energy, that's the sheet music. Then, a converter boosts and stores that power, kind of like all the musicians taking a deep breath before playing. Next, a central computer chip acts like the conductor, getting 36 separate modules perfectly in sync. And then, bam! They all discharge at the exact same instant, creating one single, perfect, and incredibly powerful pulse of energy. But here's a twist in the story. This technology is what we call dual use. It can power weapons, absolutely, but it can also power the next generation of science. And interestingly, the Chinese researchers who built it are the first ones to point this out. A system this powerful and this precise could be used for a lot more than just fighting. I mean, think about it. The same tech could be used to create super efficient ion thrusters that would let us travel through space way faster. Or it could enable high-speed laser communication between satellites. It could even be used for advanced LIDAR systems to help us track climate change from orbit. So yeah, it's a classic double-edged sword, a terrifying new weapon on one hand, and a key to unlocking the future of space exploration on the other. All right, let's talk about what this all means for the future of warfare. Because look, having a success in the lab is one thing. Actually putting a working weapon up in space, that's a whole different ballgame. So let's look at the strategic side of things and the big challenges that still need to be solved. And trust me, the challenges are huge. First off, you've got the environment of space itself. It's brutally cold and it's flooded with radiation. Stuff that works perfectly fine down here on Earth can just die up there. Second, there's heat. When you unleash megawatts of power, you create a ton of waste heat. And with no air in space to carry that heat away, the satellite could literally melt itself from the inside out. And finally, you've got the political fallout. The moment one country puts a weapon like this in orbit, you can bet every other major power is going to react, and probably not in a good way. But even with all those hurdles, the writing is on the wall. The strategic shift is already happening. This isn't about missiles anymore, not the loud, messy, debris-creating kind anyway. This breakthrough points to a new kind of warfare, one based on pure energy. The future of conflict in space could be completely silent, fought with invisible beams that can disable a satellite in an instant without leaving a trace. This quote just nails it. In the coming decades, energy and timing, not just rockets and missiles, may decide who controls the final frontier. For the past half-century, being a space power meant having bigger rockets and smarter missiles. But now the rules are changing. The new name of the game is energy output and timing precision. Whoever masters those is going to have the ultimate high ground. So we'll leave you with this to think about. The era of energy warfare isn't science fiction anymore. It is right on our doorstep, and China just took a giant step across the threshold. This changes everything for every major world power. So the real question isn't if this is going to happen, it's how the world is going to deal with it when it does. Are we prepared for that? And that's our briefing for today. Thank you so much for joining us. Hey, if you got some value out of this analysis, the best way to support what we do is to hit that like button, share this with someone who'd find it interesting, and of course, subscribe to the Global War Watch.lurk. It really helps us keep bringing you these insights. But we really want to hear from you. What do you think? Is this breakthrough a sign of a new, way more dangerous era in space? Or do you think the potential for peaceful science is the bigger story here? Drop your thoughts in the comments section below. And hey, join the conversation over on our social media channels. All the links for that are down in the description. Thanks again, and we'll see you on the next one.